My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Jesus, we continue in today's gospel with the instructions that you are giving to your apostles as you send them off on their missionary journey. 4 days ago, we get the list of who you name as apostles from among your disciples. And then that very day during the gospel, we get the first part of your instructions. And 2 days ago, we get the second part. And yesterday, we got the third part of the instructions. And today, we continue with part 4 of those instructions. To be honest, Jesus, your instructions aren't exactly inspiring morale in your apostles. You've given them lots of reasons to be nervous. You told them to take no gold, no silver, no copper in your belts, no bag for your journey, nor 2 tunics, nor sandals, nor a staff. Well, you're pretty much sending them into battle without a sword and without a shield. No money, no extra supplies. And then you say, I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. Well, great, Jesus. That's really getting your apostles pumped up for their mission. And then, Lord, you give them the encouraging news that the people they will preach to will deliver them up to councils and flog them in their synagogues, and they will be dragged before governors and kings for your sake to bear testimony before them. And then it gets worse, Lord, because you tell them that their own families will persecute them and prosecute them. You say, brother will deliver up brother to death, and the father his child, and children will rise against parents and have them put to death, and that the apostles will be hated by all for your name's sake. And then, Lord, you say at the beginning of today's gospel that just as they called you a devil, Beelzebul, so the apostles themselves will be considered devils, other Beelzebuls. And then, Lord, you say, don't worry. Don't worry about the people who will kill your body. Just worry about the guy, whoever can kill the body and the soul in hell. Well, Lord, thanks a lot. All these instructions about not carrying around what the apostles are going to need, about being persecuted by Jews and by Gentiles and by their own families and being called demons. Well, Lord, maybe some of the apostles are having second thoughts about what team they signed up for. And so, Lord, in today's gospel, you give them a little bit of reprieve, a little encouragement, saying, hey, I get it. I know, sorry. I've been kind of grim up until now. But have no fear of them. Don't be afraid to preach out loud what I have been explaining to you in private. And so, Lord, you tell the apostles this. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? And not one of them will fall to the ground without your Father's will. Even the hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not. You are of more value than many sparrows. Lord, that's actually pretty encouraging. We are sent by you, Lord, as apostles, and we are accompanied at every moment by the attention, the fatherly attention of our Heavenly Father, who doesn't miss a thing. The slightest thing doesn't happen on this planet without him knowing about it. Even a sparrow who you say, Lord, 2 sparrows are sold for a penny. I don't know, Lord, if that's the case anymore with inflation going up as it is around the world. Can't really buy even a sparrow for a halfpenny. Can't even find any currency for a halfpenny anymore. But 2 sparrows are sold for a penny, and not one of them falls to the ground without your heavenly Father's will. Well, that's the translation of this particular Bible, the Revised Standard Version, which I'm reading from right now, Lord. But if we go to the Greek, more specifically, it doesn't actually talk about the Father's will. Other translations of the Bible will say, without your Father knowing about it, right? So there's this discrepancy between you. Nothing happens without your Father willing it. Nothing happens without your Father permitting it. Nothing happens without your Father knowing about it. But really what the Greek says, well, the Greek is just ambiguous or vague. It says, not one of them, meaning not one of the sparrows, not one of them will fall to the ground without your Father. So yes, Lord, it is implicit that not one of them will fall to the ground without your Father knowing about it. Not one of them will fall to the ground without your Father permitting it. But maybe also this kind of ambiguous and blank reading is also good. Not one of them will fall to the ground without your Father. Not a single sparrow, as seemingly worthless as it is, will fall to the ground without the Father. Nothing bad happens to a sparrow, nothing bad happens to any one of us without our Father knowing about it, permitting about it. Nothing bad happens to us alone. A sparrow doesn't fall to the ground without the Father. If it falls with the Father. The Father is there. When the sparrow falls, the Father is there. When the sparrow falls, as the sparrow is falling, the Father is there with the sparrow as it falls. Anything bad which happens to us, Lord, you assure us that the Father is there with us. No matter what happens to us, in every bad or good circumstance that happens to us, the Father is there with us. And then, Lord, you include that humorous little line about even the hairs of your head are all numbered. Well, for any of the middle-aged or older men praying with this podcast right now, either they will be consoled or slightly annoyed. God knows even the hairs that fall from their head. Nothing, Lord, in our life, for good or for bad, escapes your notice. You know about it, you permit it, and you accompany us in everything that we are experiencing, good or bad. No matter what we might be afraid of, you are there. You know what we're going through, and you will sustain us with your fatherly protection. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.